There is a turtle ferrying a box. Inside the box is a bank run by small gods. The turtle swims back and forth across an ocean. It lands on a beach. People come to the beach and place their treasure beside other people's treasure, knowing the treasure will be forgotten, knowing it is what they love, but also what they must protect. Some have placed their photographs, their daggers. There are rain clouds and lucky pennies. There is a fiddle cradling a mug of tea. Some people even place themselves into the box, curled in the seeds of a pomegranate. But not their gold. The turtle says, "This box is bigger than the ocean, but I cannot carry gold. I will become too small, and something big out here will eat me. You must carry your own gold. You must carry your own gold." A Ghost Tale of Two Cities. Nagai means long, like a flight from here to Tokyo, like the ooze of a ghost. Nagaiki means long life. Nagaame means long spell of rain, which to me may as well be home. The E in nagai is the dictionary form of the unconjugated adjective. Hiroi means wide, like a turtle shell, like the audience of a well-made film. Hiroba means plaza. Hiroba kyōfusho means agoraphobia. It's a wild world indeed. Dear Hollywood, I wonder if you know this. I wonder what with cowboys drawing colts, knights slaying no-goods, spies harboring secrets, or pirates stealing pearls, watching them roll, I seem to think you do. Now, if nagasode means long sleeve, then hirosode means, I think you're catching on, a place to keep your aces. So you know Nagasaki means long cape, like a bitty peninsula, right? And Hiroshima means wide island. It speaks much for itself. There is an order you must understand before you can make language dance. But that doesn't have to matter, right? We can say Nagasaki means long ago, means half-life, means forgotten, means rad, means long point, means stick it and roast it. I think you know what it means to stretch anything until the meaning changes. You know Hiroshima means follow the light, means pretty skies, means mushroom spaghetti all over your pants, means relieve your shadow of its body. But that's between you and me, in this space. It's a wild world because there's order, because more than words actually tear when they are pulled the wrong way. When you give a child a hero, and then you take it away and you change it, worlds break in ways that make not a single sound. You seem to put scars where they don't much belong. It's okay. We can carry the weight, but the joke is still on you, because Nagasaki means magic man, but Hiroshima still means a broken heart. So do your magic then. Take a mold of our Asian face and throw it away. Take a scalpel, strap it to a white a white cursor. Whip it in a bending confuser brocam, a rendering computer program. Photoshop your way through the mouse maze getting lost for cheese in the complex of raise down, erase, and spray paint. Color my house white, please. Color my house white, please. Pick the locks with CG. Fix the bones in our face. Please, wait, no, let us try. Hiroshima is a wide-eyed pika pika hodai wa are sore kawaii na. Kakkoi na. Nagasaki no longer means long eyes, but long nose. Hiroshima not wide nose, but wide eyes. Let me introduce you to the beautiful ghosts of two deleted cities, Nagashima and Hirosaki, where, haunted by defeat from military superiority, we see the white victors as not only stronger than us, more wealthy and intelligent, more beautiful than us, they're actually just better than us. The best way to reinforce supremacy is to have our enemies defeat themselves and forget why they're doing it. So, Scarlett Johansson, you are exactly the Japanese woman Japan has been waiting to become. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It has been too long, the work too long. We can actually be you now. But you can't speak the language. Easy fix. They will take your fancy images, remove your voice, make you silent, and then put Japanese words, Japanese souls, Japanese ghosts back into the shell they built to get over our annihilated lessons in humility. But what about me? Am I the now unaccepted byproduct of a loser's complex in a global world with wide eyes, long nose, Japanese words, and a U.S. passport? Nagasaki could mean long precedent, but hey, I can stretch anything to change its meaning. So Nagasaki now means long game, means we're coming back for what is ours, means you are running out of excuses, Hollywood. Hiroshima means the bombshell bombed this one, means cheap thrills have high costs, means sex sells. Sex tried to sell, means you couldn't sell our childhood dreams back to us, because you cannot take for keeps that which was never yours. I mean, you just seem to break what you do not understand. The magic man in Dabbleland will wreck himself the most. Remember now, I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. No, not I. No, Hollywood, I thought you understood. I'm the little boy coming home, split, hungry for a hard-boiled egg in the fallout. You are the ghost in the shell of a very fat man. Falling, falling, falling. National disaster. I wonder what I would ask my Japanese grandma, my Oba-chan, if she were here, having been an American citizen 76 years ago. She wasn't. She was in Japan. But I wonder how different she would be if she spoke English. I guess she wouldn't speak Japanese. So neither would I. I don't like that. But I think I'd ask her, and maybe only once, what did they take? Not why did they take it, we already know that, but what? What toys did you play with? What color was your blanket? And even if she knew English with an MA in education, I don't think she'd open up. It's already like that with us. When I call her, not much is said except whether I'm genki, ganbatteru, and eating enough. So I wonder, because I can, what if her mother, my great-grandma, my Hiba-chan, had the perfect rolling mat for makizushi, and that with it she could steamroll the whole neighborhood, all the houses and the four-door Fords and Studebakers. There'd be fire hydrants bundled with knives, pomade, pastel fences, and salmon. I bet she could make sushi with the moving train. It'd be spinning in a loop, I bet. I bet she could roll this land from coast to coast. Oregon roll, California roll, Rocky Mountain roll. You're not in Kansas any roll. Welcome to Tule Lake roll, Minidoka roll, the Broll of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, the statue of Rollbirdie, Mount Rushmore, Rollis Island, Pearl Harbor. I imagine she would say yes. In fact, because she and her mother were such secret Asians, had such a role in the war effort against the United States of America, that sushi roller was exactly what they took from them. As well they should. Because it's clear, my Hiba-chan feeding her babies could prove to be a national disaster. Hikoki da. My father is as Japanese as they come. He values hard work and instructs me to focus, and as much as I hate to say it, his words aren't pre-recorded as if he ran tape through his teeth with his eyes closed. No. He studied so hard that his chopsticks would shake, like his heart all awake. He would travel the world and do what it takes, and he did. We chased pigeons in London, ate Roman spaghetti, snapped shots of Dutch windmills, fished down under jetties, and had a phrase. One of us would point to the sky and say, "Hikoki da!" And the other said, "Ah, honto da! Look, there's a plane! Oh, it's true!" Honto is a Japanese word for true. It literally means to hit the book, the script, the present to hit reality, the origin to hit the root. The Japanese are nothing if not disciples of context and target practice. They pack their words like their fatherland, old, efficient, full of many meanings. For instance, the word for machine is the same as opportunity. So perhaps we were shooting down as many opportunities with the truth as we could, because it was only so many departures till customs drove its wedge between us. When I asked my mother, what's Australia going to be like? She said they walk on their hands, wear hats on their feet, God knows what their mouths do and how they do eat, but they proved to be nice, and from 1st to 4th grade we lived under the world and were made in the shade. Playing hot and cold after school with her, drawing curtains for candy bars. Major Chip Hazard attendant to hail down Genesis, a very new scene. A Sega beginning to be raised by a dream machine. Let there be light from the flick of a switch. Reincarnate from Aladdin to Darkwing Duck. Does anyone else remember how awesome Streets of Rage 2 was? All the while, my father put his socks on early in the morning when I'd parachute my sheets over the heat vent. It'd be another 12 hours till his socks in the evening came off with a glass of wine. I'd sneak out, like stalking Santa Claus, wondering what treasures lay in his brown leather briefcase. Let there be Daddy from the flick of a switch. Upload to the boss fight, where in your room of all places your mother says through his frames, I can't do this anymore. Watch the pixels pass your soul into 64 bits. It took me 17 years to beat that level. A briefcase of fatherhood, after all. We held an electric string across the planet, and he'd ask me what I wanted to be when I grew up. お金をどうするかお前? What are you gonna do for money? And I'd say something different every year. I want to be a software engineer, make video games, build a world for us. Dad, I want to be a police negotiator like Samuel L. Jackson, that I can talk you down from one rising sun to another. I want to be an actor, Otosan. I want to save the world. Now I see him born to manufacture fantasies. He always told me video games would melt my brain. Well, I've got cups full of imagination coming out of my ears, so since my family portrait is an ocean that holds a torn memory, maybe, if I smear it with as much beauty as I can, perhaps I can fill it, or at least not notice that I can't reset my life by blowing in the cartridge. I will never forget his smile. And how much I hate the sound he makes when he speaks English, that thinking when he goes fry fishing, that he pulls dinner from the river already cooked, of the day when I wouldn't let him leave until he swinged on the swings with me. I took a picture, knowing that this child hadn't died inside through all the years of business, when I asked you if you were happy, choosing your job over your family, choosing your heritage over the new horizon. You just said yes. You don't play with the truth, like I do. It's okay. I can respect that. All I'm trying to say is that I still point to the sky. Chase Down the Poet. A campaign setting for comrades, levels 5 through 8. A name involving bones. An interesting fact about bones. A curious extension into a secondary fact about bones. A sideways yet informative plug for calcium consumption and bone health. An encouraging piece of advice to eat more spinach and milk. A peak statement declaring the importance of bones. A resolving axiom conclusion equating bones to friends. A declaration that I want you to be my friend. An invitation to my dungeon. A statement of hope that you'll accept the offer. A lovely depiction of the levels of the dungeon, the decor, the treasure, the magical loot. A dismissal of the definitely not monsters in my dungeon. A harder dismissal of an example of a definitely not a monster and most definitely not a metaphor for my male insecurity, anxiety, narcissism, and a complete need to control everything in my dungeon. A statement encouraging you not to worry. A generous reward of a wheel of cheese. More calcium. Huzzah! An encouraging gesture of strong bones, where strong bones means good times. An embarrassed admission that I've been caught. An apology. A confession regarding a secret. A playfully shy dance around the secret. A gathering of self meant to generate tension and anticipation. A presentation of a quest to heal me. A captivating depiction of a sad, lonely child locked away deep inside my psyche who's scared, unable to reach out and hold anyone long enough to feel cleansed, wanted to feel a part of something bigger than himself. A helpless cry that I need someone to do it for me. Advice that if you do take up the quest, you must come well armed, with enchanted armor, a party of trustworthy companions, and rope to tie me down lest I run away. An apology that I keep running away, deeper into my dungeon, through the Hydra Pit, the Goblin Kingdom, the Drow City, the shark-infested underwater volcano. A statement of gratitude for loving me, for following anyway. A statement of hope that you've built sturdy bones because I'll need them. A description of my inner sanctum, of me, alone, surrounded by the bones of everyone who tried to reach me, heal me, and keep me. A statement of gratitude for bones, as they are so often my only company. An enthusiastically interesting fact about bones. Another enthusiastically interesting fact about bones. Twist the stalks. Twist the stalks. He showed me how to twist the soft stalks of the young ganja. They made a satisfying snap. He said it would make them grow up stronger. He'd make more money that way. It was a matter of fact. Lo Ringu Ro. Quit japping my dice. No touchy. Does your party need another sword, or is my gold too yellow for you? Did I throw your fortune upside down? Because something's clearly got you rolling low. Maybe it's this ring I won. I'm turning 3x4s to charity, rubbing toes with the gods of streets and healing. Got this Maidas Tachi, but it's cursed, like my hands. I'm sprouting horns, glowing moss at his toes, conjuring into hooves my quest to rid myself of Squint by plundering young legendary labyrinth, destroy this evil bitchy with the holy candle in its face, super animation. I can conquer this dungeon, but you never finish this story with me. And one day, I learn there is a Minotaur in that maze whose angel never had a chance to roll its dice, never got a chance to escape your story. Lo Ringu Ro. Quit japping my dice. No touchy. Does your party need another sword, or is my gold too yellow for you? Did I throw your fortune upside down? Because something's clearly got you rolling low. Maybe it's this ring I won. I'm turning 3x4s to charity, rubbing toes with the gods of streets and healing. Got this Maidas Tachi, but it's cursed, like my hands. I'm sprouting horns, glowing moss at his toes, jeering into hooves my quest to rid myself of Squint by plundering young legendary labyrinth, destroy this evil bitchy with the holy candle in its face, super animation. I can conquer this dungeon, but you never finish this story with me. And one day, I learn there is a Minotaur in that maze whose angel never had a chance to roll its dice, never got a chance to escape your story. In love with the universe. I'm in love with the universe. I'm talking spiritual magnetic, like I'm into it, like so into it. It's into me. It's in me, like 7 years old, face first in my toes, ripping nails off with my teeth. Ouroboros smells like the bacteria growing under your big toe. I'm talking choice cheese shit, like $25 a pound, 1 second relief for anxiety. I'm talking Diddy Kong racing on Christmas Day, mom's in the kitchen making dinner, and U2's sweetest thing. The lights were gold. The lights were gold. Solid gold. Like an angel incarnate as a magic tick hanging from my finger, believing maybe it can finally crawl into a peaceful hole full of blood somewhere and drown. I tried to pry it off my mother's elbow skin, tugging like a bus handle or a bouldering grip, that I might climb into her heart. But my mother, see, she's a Taurus and has good boundaries, so the tick retreated to my knuckle, built a castle out of calloused meat, invited me in to drink shots of straight dopamine, and raised its flag for 10 years. Until the siege. A bald man and a pendulum in my hand. We'd done this before, for D&D, using trance to tap the subconscious for characters. I was holding a 6-inch chain with a crystal quartz. I only had to hold it and look at it while he asked me questions. If it swung back and forth, it was a yes. If side to side, it was a no. Why let my voice get in the way? I don't know how to tell you what I don't fully remember. Like the sunshine in December, Ken's not here, send back to sender. Each decibel a step toward the splendor of surrender. Man, I see you right in front of me, an image that I render, with parallel assemblage of my fleet subconscious medicine. Thank God that you're amazing at this shit, man. The edifice you built in me proved parallel to Daedalus, but this was necessary in a sense to heal the nervousness, the endless chewed terrain in space you terraformed in case you had to skate along the rails that you paved within my pate. And it was great, I do confess. But I wonder if the point was to convert my doubts to sure why nots and all my no's to nothingness. Query, does Kenji like girls? Left, right, back, forth. Does Kenji like boys? All gone, henceforth. Was it nature, medication, or hypnotic nomenclature, a bug deleting data, deja vu of no adventure, the ever-subtle use of clever methods and accessories, of sensory subversion through the entropy of memory, erasure of your boundaries, a backdoor to the foundry until it all floods back within a reverie, a flight that you can't feel, the feeling you can't change, the suggested range of healing is too strange and needs concealing, but it worked. How the hell did it work? Thank you? Fuck you? What did you put in me? What did you put in me? And what's the trigger? The secret word, the lock, the key that hacks the clock, undocked device whose use precise makes ripples like a rock. Heavy? No, forget it. No, it's paralyzing. No, fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. No way. Sand bucket. Arms up. Sand bucket. The handle. Watch it go over the hand under your wrist. It's heavy. The lower the hand, the deeper the land. He said sand bucket. The key word is sand bucket. As deep as its reach. Return to the beach. I'm done. Break the pattern. Break the pattern. Time doesn't work anymore. I'm 1000%. I'm angelic, right? I'm that God-sent kind of shit. The good, not biting anymore, but I'm still this piece of shit. Kenji, I love you. Not biting anymore. Kenji, be kind to yourself. Kenji, take this pill. Kenjimoto. You're good to go. I guess I'll get to watch this happen, or the other Portland. I can see my old house from space, east, up in the numbers. There are no Douglas firs shielding it from satellites. Across the street is a house where I will visit Eunice and Paul, where I will shake Paul's hand on Veterans Day, though before he dies, I'll never ask him which Japanese cities he bombed. Their dog, her breath is ugly. Her breath is ugly. Fish ugly. Their house is covered in 12 Douglas firs. I will eat almonds there, smell the Russian olive in her garden. Up Main Street, there is another house where I will play D&D for the first time, where I meet the man who will squeeze something deeper than I want, who will speak shadow, who will give me a little idol of the Buddha, who will tell me to not let him touch me when he's in sacred space. Back at my house is the yard and the window where alone I'll notice the night become the new blue, and my body cold, and my screen Warcraft 3, and I a hero. All those dead monsters. Where do all the pixels go when they are part of something that has died? Down 181st is my school, where Mr. Russell and I will convince everyone I punched him in the face on the 1st of April, where we'll eat lunch in the theater lobby, where I will wear blackface and lend me a tenor, where that is somehow okay, where we'll sing in Latin, have silent crushes, and eat pizza. He'll move away from that house on Franklin. It too is covered by Douglas firs. It has a lawn and a backyard that will have a garden, a shed, and a gazebo, with a jacuzzi and a room with a door and a lock that first will be Benji's room and then become a spirit room with Kali and Shiva and the spider that will live in the window, where they will shut off his power and his water, where he'll pray to Lakshmi for a way out. At I-205, meet two halves. One side is Portland, and the other side is Portland. One stands tall, while the other lays long, like a statue in its shadow, colossal in the sunset. In the eyes of the devil. Have you ever loved someone who was mired in the pits of hell? And when you reached in to pull them out, did they look you square in the eyes, grip you by the wrist, and drag you in with them? There is so much God in the eyes of the devil. His were blue, and they were beautiful to me. You see, before I met the man who was my master, I felt the only way that I would know real love was by pinning myself through the throat to my high school walls like a lonely poem. I imagined the world passing by would squeeze grief through the punctuation, at least make a puddle in the cave I had dug beneath my good grades. With my ear to the floor, I could hear something beautiful beneath the stones, but I snapped my fingernails digging for it. I sat, watching, hoping computer clicks and poetic drips would drop by drop erode a hole through the floor. And one day he was there, as teachers tend to be. He taught me the codes to hack my underworld and could really hear what I was saying. He watched over me as I went and knocked on Mama Ayahuasca's doors to infinity. I mean, what would you do if someone handed you the psychosomatic jackhammer of mantra meditation? Hell, I got to work and I was incandescent as bit by bit I actually began to break through the base to the core of me. He was my therapist, my friend. Like a father, he was my cul-de-sac guru. I gave it to him, bag and baggage. You know, at first, there doesn't seem to be a suitable metaphor for the way a scared and needy young man can blindly love a cunning and charismatic maniac. But of the things he taught, you see, he gave himself away. He taught me the art of fly swatting. You see, a fly, though disgusting, is a magnificent creature in the way it perceives time. Perhaps by its being so small and by the quantity of light its brain can process, it pretty much sees the world in what to us is slow motion. So when you go to swat, it sees your big, stupid hand encroaching like a bulldozer and then just steps right out of the way. But if you move very, very, very slowly, it won't be able to tell you're moving until you're just an inch away. And then you wait until it's cleaning its wings. And just like that, abuse begins by cutting the wings that would lead you home and fly you to your friends. Then come the daily doses of moldy weed, hypnotism, and a line that goes a little something like this. Here's the rule. There's only one. Never lie to me and look me in the eyes. If you have to lie, look down. If you lie to me and look me in the eyes, I will know, and I will burn a fucking hole through you and destroy you. There came a day when I realized I was lost inside a dungeon made of smog within that little home I dug beneath my good grades. And in that place where my little puddle should have been, there stood an oil rig. I followed the pipes to a straw stuffed into my master's mouth. He sucked me down again, and told me that I owed it to him. I wanted it. I didn't want it. 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 I could fill this story with a lifetime of words, but the only one I needed was the only one I never said. Stop. For him, the word therapist already had its pronoun built into it. Stop. He knew it. Stop. In this kind of hell, the only way is through. Stop. To pull the stake from my throat, fall to the floor, and watch the poem land beside me. Stop. Cue glasses. Because they're on sale. Because you're squinting. because you can't read the name on the prescription. Part 2. Kappa. Axiom. Fear is the train that growls beneath as I pass beauty crossing on the Rhine Street Bridge. Down the spiral. What if the energy required to accept yourself exactly the way you are equates precisely to that needed to change for the better? Say this includes your cowardice, the hours still spent drowning in the broken sluice of your emotions, not a truce, without a notion that the daybreak deluge can be tapped without assumption, understood without compunction, standing tall without defensiveness, no less the sense when your confidence got shaken and undressed to serve another's spiritual ends, to buff his spiritual lens. Finally, he said, something you were good for. When he told you to dance, and you did, jigging to the sense of who you know yourself to be dislodged itself, then floating in an empty narrative, your eyes tied down by repetitive imperatives as prayer hit your heartbeat like a sacramental sedative, more spiritual phrases out of context to their heritage. You were clawing for a culture, but really, just afraid to live, afraid to grow your own, afraid to own your potholes in the road up to your home because you were made of light, right? There's no room for fear when you are made of love and beauty, perfect like a sphere. There's never need to fight, right? Your heart is in the clear. Surely you are holy, or you're wholly insincere. That's what you think, since you hid behind a veil. I want to know your bravery, but you're afraid to fail, so you wither down the spiral. Unable to answer wisely all the viral whys behind this guise of feeling sorry for yourself, of needing someone else to tell you how to live your life, to play your part, and pay blood tithes in space he made sacred, but twisted to mean what took place you intended. No wonder you lost your way. No wonder I lost myself. The moment came when the body from whose blood he drew was no longer me, but the you I'm speaking to. So when he told me to sing and be free, but I couldn't, caught like a bow-shot doe in the throat. These wounds that don't bleed sound like no's never said. I had love songs for death, but no postage to send. So when I told him I wanted to kill myself, and he said he would help me, was he calling a bluff, or had he already killed me? Weakness, I can speak to this, the doubts that I conceal, but acknowledging reality regardless how it feels. To say that it's okay to be afraid, or if you stall, you gain all the momentum used to rise up when you fall. I'll understand if you go quiet, speaking not a word. There is no hope to force you into happy. That's absurd. This bird, that bird. This, I am this, what is this feeling? This all here left over, this not gonna smile hard, this smile not gonna be hard enough, this not smiling hard enough, this I wanna tell you, this I do it and I wanna, this feel, this but why, this scared to feel, this actually, this right here, this air, this apathy and bleak shit, this old round of similar metaphors, this metaphor, this round thing, this sharp thing, this spine, this drain, this fire, this broken thing, this baseball bat, these chewing mouths and quiet dull eyes, these eyes, this room, these almost tears, this now, this not now, this is why, this so damn close, damn it, this damn it, this cut caution tape waving just so, this damn wop, these perfect bricks, these breadcrumbs, this perky fucking bird, this perky picking bread bird, this bird, this piece, this bird, that bird, this can't string 6 proper fucking words together bird, this birds can't smile bird, this I have no idea what I'm doing bird, this can't keep this shit together bird, this so goddamn bird, this bored bird, this I'm this bird, this not that bird, this no, this can I stop now, this how about now bird, this why, this please, this again, this flippy hair, this flippy wind, this flippy hair when this try harder, this make effort, this sweat, this please no sweat, this chirp, 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 this never, 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 never hit it, this now, never, why, this fi, this is why, this roll a dice chamber, this clickety click, click, this close, this sick to my stomach, this same old shit on the radio, this tonight, this I'm not a program, this not every bird gets a name, this not me, I'm gonna tweak, this tweak, this tweak, this tweak, this stop, this pour that on my head, this run, this crack in the pavement, this crack in the pavement, this pavement. What the brothers did to time. Pikachu spars in a ruby bow tie against 3 more Pikachus, glass-eyed, wearing fir trees on their heads. They bounce very fast, very painful lemons, dropping school buses right out of the sky, one after the other. The door opens. A challenger approaches, and Pikachu is frozen in mid-air, a camera locked on his face. He notices a cord of night stretched out from him to infinity, but then they're blankly clapping. No contest. Captain hits Link like a fire truck, a forest fire. They don't use items, it's manlier. Link hits Cap like a drone hits a Humvee. Captain flies away like an N64 controller flying toward a wall. Cap freezes, mouth open in midair, like an N64 controller headed toward a wall. His face, like your best friend's, the cord of night flaps wildly, but then they're blankly clapping. No contest. Donkey Kong spins a peanut butter fist until it is a star. Fox may as well be strapped to a chair in 0G, the cord wrapped around his feet. A sacrifice. There is no dishonor here. Or movement. Blank clapping. No contest. When your best friend can't bear to lose a game, his mouth unhinges. He names his teeth after superheroes, eats the TV and the console. The skin on his hands hardens, cracks, and pops up into buttons. The boy hands you his hands. You're not playing a survival game. How to speak obake. 悪い。君。俺。苦い、臭い、うざい。音読み、訓読み。かなり煙ばっかりだな感じの秘密の鬼読み方。あなたのバカのバケツの中身は何ですか？バカ。あいつ、こいつ、起立、キモい、で、おはようございます。大バカお化けの小僧がさ、すぐすぐコロコロカッパになって、雷キャンディ噛みながら、カラカラコワゴワ心を閉じた。あららららららららららららららららららら。Bad. It's gotta be bad where you be, ghetto. I mean, you gotta be bad, ghetto. No. You gotta have been bad too. Gotta catch fire to eat it and keep it もう決めてきれいに切れてくれて調子がいいな. Can you kill me with air? With distance? Ignore how this hungry hand fits the back of your head. Did you know that your eyes can leave your body? That I can spook them right out of their sockets, watch them scram under the bed. Well, if your bed is on the ground, can I eat them? It's dangerous out there. Keep 4 island curses from the rising sun in your back pocket. Kono yaro! It's okay, you got my check mark. Kono kusso dare! Yeah, I know you just love this shit, right? Bakamono! So then you just stick them in the fulcrum. I gotta make me feel each tidbit. Gotta really believe it. Kudabare kono impo. You don't need to understand it. Just say it with me. Hakujin janai. Hakujin janai. Nihonjin janai. Ninjin janai. Chimamire hanjin ippon dake. Chimamire hanju ippon bake. I know you know the casual racism of good people. Give up. Don't even try to hide it. Admit it. Because that's not how you speak monster, human. See, I know this woman. She don't got no face, and even she looks both ways before joining you in bed. I know this little girl in a TV just wants a little hug and to kill you, but you really didn't give her much of a choice. And I know this dude with brown skin and a brown familia, and he's quite sweet. I don't know why you keep throwing him at me. I can't feed him. You know, you gotta see there is a difference between not having a reflection in the mirror and just not wanting to look at it. It takes one to know one, and you are not like us. See them? I made them, their hair pouring out like ink on a brick wall. You break them and send them right in our direction, and we kinsigi them another chance. Show them how to feed themselves in your unforgiving world. But that's not how this is supposed to work. This is Survival 101. A classroom should never have a hospital or a graveyard. All you see in our bits and pieces is adventure, isn't it? Farming the limbs of my family for gold and experience, the very fact that we exist somewhere in this world. You just can't take it, can you? So you gotta come into my cave, my house, and find whatever it is you lost in my blood. Is this it? Is this where you can finally see yourself? How too few will never not be gaijin in America. It takes one to know one, and you are so like us. Do you really think you were the only ones living in between? Did you really think you'd be released from not belonging? Once it has you, there's no stake in the heart can kill it, just stories in dark forests. There are demons in the mountain stones. Yamani noro yami. And even they know you don't own the rock you stand on. So fine, if you really need to know, then tell them that their house is haunted and pull down your eyelids, stick out your tongue, then tell them they're different, that you don't know them, and don't bow back. Dishonor them by walking through their house with muddy shoes. And yet, in the end, that's not how you speak, Obake. Human. All you have to do is say that you're hungry. What the boys did the time. Adrenaline is violet, flying past your head, is what happens when you hit a prism with a hammer. We were wicker boys brought together by bullet men. We cowered slow-mo with paintball guns. Cortisol is navy blue. Like a paintball, it cannot be uncracked, only washed away. Norepinephrine is orange, can shrink the sun into a grapefruit, a book into a single word, your faith into the mustard seed. GABA is yellow, is the sound of your own feet running through a dreamscape, past rhinoceri, past piles of upright risk soldiers. Glutamate is pink, is punk, is zen, is a sunrise in your fingertips, is graduating from the pause button, is sneaking up behind your enemies and shooting them like a goddamn ninja. Serotonin is forest green, is dropping your gun in victory. The sun shines all the way. Dopamine is sky blue. You can't see it past the cement ceiling, so you'll have to paint it on the wall, like Goya, whose body was a prison, whose walls were target practice. The brain is a great titan of uncracked paintballs. Is your master cornering you in the spirit room? Is when he cups you in the palm of his hands? Is when he makes you swear to never shoot him in the back again? Shame is red and white. Is when an insecure man can no longer laugh at his own defeat in a game. Is when he grabs you by the spine. Is when he slowly opens his mouth around your face and begins to chew. This sadness, this penny-sized sadness, this crumbles in the rug sadness, this hungry, slumping sadness, this lumpy sadness, this bumpy sadness, this minimum wage sadness, this bored jester sadness, this origami crane sadness, this bent bumper sadness, this baka sadness, this Japanese American and fired from the Japanese garden sadness, this epic Hamlet sadness, this handsome and gloomy loner sadness, this fragile man sadness, this middle of the party sadness, this crowded multichromatic cell phone sadness, this quick-sight string crush cutie pie so curious sadness, this I smoked weed in public sadness, this will existential insight maybe wait a night sadness, this shy monument sadness, this moist pathetic sadness, this video game sadness, this one more turn sadness, this already tomorrow sadness, this virtual reality feed me through a straw, I'm never coming back sadness, this get it together sadness, this buttoned up, clean, clocked, and plasma sadness, this high-functioning sack of grain sadness, this superpower backpack sadness, this hard jackhammer sadness, this runaway steam-powered sadness, this poetry sadness, this open-armed and all alone sadness, this flirtatious literary sadness, this blue lipstick, black hat sadness, this marble-chested tyrant sadness, this red wine sadness, this I'm not sad sadness, this red wine and gorgeous sadness, this I got a degree in psychology sadness, this naked, horny, long, fleshy wine glass sadness, this please be honest sadness, this don't make me talk about it sadness, this understanding, caring, codependent sadness, this desperate please hold me sadness, this bad sex sadness, this little red stain on the bottom of the glass sadness, this quiet breakfast sadness, this fine sadness, this wreck my notebook with the mechanical pencil sadness, this raging, prancing glitter bomb sadness, this we missed the chocolate tasting sadness, this chair-breaking, screaming tear factory sadness, this kind little monster sadness, this all alone on the swings sadness, this little boo-boo haunt me inside out sadness, this shrinking sadness, this devious mosquito sadness, this contagious black hole sadness, this playful Cthulhu sadness, this falling up sadness, this catastrophic cosmos sadness, this Hubble-eyed, every dot in the atmosphere, every word in the dictionary sadness, this gonna need some Buddhism sadness, this lumpy sadness, this bumpy sadness, this penny on the pavement sadness. An ode to headphones. Oh, my headphones, whisper to me, honey and emeralds in the ill wind, pour green tea in my ears, float my moon. Past the fire of the birds in the trees I cannot hear, past the fire of the automatic doors, past the fire of the cars that are uncaring of my existence, down the stairs, through the turnstile, I go down into the loud, fitful fires underground. Down here, as I wait for the train, emerge monsters who have long lost their moons, whose moons have long ago oozed out of their heads, and so may want to drink up my moon. They are fast, dare I say fleet, wearing their strange, janky jackets, whom everyone else, for their own sake, learned to ignore despite the quick squishing of their feet and the clomping of their hooves. They must be mine. They chase me onto the train, encroach upon me, stained mouths open, close, furious, packed like sardines in a crushed tin. They speak inside my head. Yo. Excuse me? We want the trickster. Who? Okatsu, the specter. He's a butcher and a terrorist. A tourist? No, a terrorist. He owes us the liturgy. Who are you? We do not know anymore. You horrifying child. I shall name you Fog. You hulking goat man. I shall name you Worrywart. And you who are 10-hole jank flicks jammed into a coat, I shall name you Lewis. This pleases us. I'm sorry to let you down. I've met some shitty people, but I don't know the one you're looking for. We cannot go to sleep. Give up the ghost. We can't. I am a wicked child. I'm caught in the fire. I just feel sick. Pieces. We killed the sound. We just want out so bad. I can help you get back where you belong. I can send you off upon a dream. I have my music. What are you listening to? Sail to the Moon. Oh, my headphones. How they long for you. Go on. I trust you. It's okay. They each grab your vulnerable cord, for you have a cord, and their teeth are not blue. I watch pearly molasses light up their fingers and their eyes. There. Little by little, they dust, backdrifts of soot as the doors slide open. Climbing up the steps to the streets of Itaewon, I pull the handle to your gate to hear that, for a minute there, I had forgotten the sound of rain. An ode to my father's neckties. Ichi, musubikata, the way to tie a father to his son. These roadways of inheritance, these dusty pulse keepers, nobly slept in a mahogany cabinet in my grandparents' home. They are London, Melbourne, Milan and Grand Rapids. They are Paris and Nagoya, Amsterdam and home. Multichromatic elephants and polka dots. Take 20, 30, he said with gently demanding generosity. Maybe each time I tie one for an interview or for a wedding, I'll learn to tie the clouds together, dress fancy the Pacific, connect his mirror to my mirror. Ni, kakkoi. Wrap it twice around the knot so you remember. Keep the front just long enough so you remember. Master that dimple just below the knot so you remember. Yes. No. Wait. Here. Like that. Hai. Iyo. San. Tadashi. I stuffed probably 18 ties into a plastic bag. Now what the hell am I going to do with 18 ties? Can they tie the years I didn't see him to the moment when I looked him in the eyes to thank him? He gave me shoes, a French black coat, bought me a navy blue suit, but when he saw the condition which I subjected the ties to, I realized I didn't really want the ties, only the instruction for how to take care of them. Please, Dad, show me a way to not stuff my life into a plastic bag. Show me how to dress so sharp it cuts a wormhole to the sun. Is this the right way? Are these ties your wormhole to me? Young, nani o shimashou? He told me there has to be distance between two people for there to be a conversation. That if you ask someone directly what they want, in Japanese it ends up being rude and invasive. I'm so used to being on the other end of your tie that now that we're together, looking through the very same mirror, I'm living on the black stripes printed on your thin end, just that much closer, only for today. I will never be you, Dad. But I'm fixing my collar, Dad. I remember everything. Otosan, look, I did it. Look, I did it. Dad, I'm just like you. Go. Kanpeki. I've decided. When I leave, I'll tie each tie to the wings of the airplane and watch them flutter from the window seat. Still a part of the problem. I'm writing a poem about being a man. I'm writing a poem about being a man. I'm writing a poem about being a man. I'm rewiring a man, becoming a poem. I'm manning the console. I'm robot. I program. I'm hammer on blueprints on iron. I'm a nice thing. I'm a good man. Good man. This good man. I'm a boost tech and the boss. Bow beast. I'm repoeming a wire to write to man. These are my rights. I have only half a face. I'm tapping Morse code emotions. Do you even read? Do you even lift meaning from mystery? I'm howling for the solder. This is my element. Top 10. I thought you knew answers through a wet blanket. I thought you knew comparisons were a shout-out. We've learned the best way to fight gravity is to point fire at it. I'm pouring wine on the ram's head to fan its might. I'm pining for Valhalla. My hand is for lunch. Watch me wrap my head around the universe. Call me actual. I'm so damn real. I see you see me in the countdown. See? Stargazer? These feet are millennia. Watch me get this right. With my eyes in the clouds, I stuck the mountain in my eyes and got a story. Do you trust words enough to be remembered? Do you remember what words reference the fire? Do you still carry burn marks from that day back when it was a liftoff, it was a runaway, it was one or the other? Can you trust your memory to be a dictionary? Can you forgive the dictionary you were given? Can you trust your bones to be foundation? What does it even mean to be secure? I'm all wrong around the past, on my manners, while the future was a space station, and when I make it past the Oort cloud, my shadow will not stand. It will not matter. Won't be my chaser. I'll be out there, floating as a little light. And I hope it guides you out your castle to the sea. I was that stone you picked up along the way. I know you threw it in the water, and so I know you know some love is not for following. But if you do, don't hold your breath for me. Send me an invitation. I'll send you a question. Don't answer it. Send back a better one. Trust this distance to build us radio. Departing woebegone with a beacon. Prying more time out of mana, out of this gender, out of shame. Still praying poetry can turn a phantom. Still coaxing verbs into their actions. Still riding my fist into a rocket ship. I'm riding gale force in an obelisk. Still part of the problem, no matter how far. Directions and control. My very own constellation. Really, don't come. I don't need your help. I'm a man. I'm writing. I'm a legend. I don't exist. I'm perfect. Believe in me. Write me alive. Write a poem, man, about me being. In the eyes of the devil. Stop. Stop. He was a gift. The perfect example of the kind of person I will never be. Stop. Have you ever fallen in love with yourself while you were mired in the pits of hell? And when you reached in to pull yourself out, did you smile and say, "What took you so long?" There is so much God in the eyes of humanity. Mine are brown, and they are beautiful to me. Heaven. This fly is whirring in my room, bumbling past my pen. I get up and try to swat it dead, dancing to a blackout waltz. I want you to leave, I say, showing it the door. It doesn't. It hangs by the lamps on the walls as I lay on the floor, wandering about a life of kaleidoscopic, sugar-famished, time-warping buzzer prayers. It's hungry for the light, like eager fools for written words. I turn off my lamp and turn on the hallway light to shoo it out, and it leaves, indeed photophilic for some hope this sticky summer night, flitting through the glory of this wide, wide heaven of vaulted ceilings and clean dishes till I turn out the hall light, close the door, and tend to a book. It wasn't long till it returned. It crawled, faithful, through the crack beneath the door, knowing there's more to life than shit and sugar, into a place, my realm, which will entrance its soul, yet refuse to nourish its form. Oh, ecstasy, you sly god. Between the choice to kill, catch, or herd it out again, and trick it to a new horizon, I write, astounded, after all these weeks of stretching my lungs around my feet and balancing my heart atop my head, swallowing my mind again till I'm drunk on riddle song, that I find a muse in how this fly wipes its eyes that never blink in what seems to me relief. Sure, I can let it be the fly that stayed. But, little fly, soon I will have to turn off heaven so I can go to sleep. A letter from the monster picking at his scars, to be recited under Chopin's Nocturne, Op. 9, Number 2. Draft 1. Draft 2. There is an entire melody to how we both hate me. It starts with a lie and a pretty trickle in a key that has no lock, right out of the purest kind of love, and how we watch it shamble, not knowing what it once was. We have 2 pieces of rhyming starlight. Even now, isn't that the most awful thing? Watching how I cleave my own arm off at the shoulder, thinking how it has your name on it. Is there room in a piano for a bone saw? Draft 3. The flowers are so beautiful this time of year. There's tiny life in the soil, and I can't seem to eat it as it is. Have you tried? They're growing all around me. Think of me. Yes, think of me. And I'll show you what music sounds like from under the ground. It's not a threat, it's in my nature. Remember, you have a name for it. Look me in the eyes and tell me how failing makes me science fiction. We wrapped our own book with its own pages and buried it. Remember, it was your parting gift. Draft 4. From the beginning, in our crow's nest, we were moths to the lighthouse. Please, tell me what it was like to love the Kraken, having carved our names into that tower to see it storm after quiet storm erode into an edifice of salt. Don't you know there's only one reason to scuttle a frigate? To ensure it can't be turned against you, to drown the maps, the gold and the bells and the guns. Please, tell me, how could the monster suck your soul when it was too afraid to open its mouth? Draft 5. I'm sorry. I know the world has been unkind to you. And yes, I did abandon you. I admit it. And I'm sorry that I let the walls of fear come closing in at the speed of panic. I wasn't gonna hold your hand again, but I have to tell you, there is nothing more dangerous than stuffing someone into an angel-shaped hole. You'll only get a demon. Look at my teeth. I don't know anything more human than to sow curses where once love laid. Draft 6. This is what happens when your eyes are made of mirrors, where words get stuck between 2 panes and ricochet their own infinity, believing my love is no better than a trap to protect the world from, and who knows if it really was the case, and all that time since was actually meant to heal me, and not a spell you cast to laugh me into the sideshow. I guess I can say I got the message loud and clear. I wonder if you still blame me. When you met me, I was already living with 1 foot on a landmine. Draft 7. When I take off my monster-colored glasses, I see such faces frayed by fear that need the gentlest kinds of care, sometimes years and a microscope. But if it sounds like see you later, that's fine, even if it is a lie. Or if it sounds like silence, that is fair as well. But you must acknowledge your own darkness, lest you only ever laugh alone, wreck every island you discover, blame every weakness you encounter. Do you still blame me? I know it's no business of mine. We were once the best of friends, and I'd hate to see you wear the frames forever. Draft 8. If it's any consolation, you made me the happiest person I've ever been by teaching me to say goodbye, that walking away from your tears and your circles, when I walked down the stairs, opened the door, closed it behind me, I took in the cleanest breath of air, could listen to my delicate crystals float into the sky. That is the meaning of instinct, of trust, that I love myself enough to become everything you were afraid of. A part of the world beyond you. Draft 9. Dear someone I've left for good. It's okay now. Sincerely, the monster, a man, me. Part 3. Monster Squad on the train. Alone in a skull, 3 miles between my shoulder blades, I watch street lamps flicker slightly holy like dandelions in the snow. Do you know me and my empty spaces? How long have I watched this line of paint drawn along the imaginary highway? Have you held me lately, wrapped night around my neck and my waist, ran your hand like starlight down my back, cradled here in our own warm astronomy, playing these gentle nocturnes, running fingers through the atmosphere, together, lost in obsidian, concentrating on our breathing, satisfying oxygen. I'm telling you, it's all right. I'm all right. I'm telling you, this salt, this desire, this dissolving, it's still the same as clarity. Mitochondria, male and female, are like my liver and my lungs. They're organs in my psyche, but they're not the only ones. I love my liver. I love my lungs. I love my body. It's funny when a thing works status quo, you tend to forget it's even there. But we are bodies inside of bigger bodies, mitochondria scrawling on arteries in these huge letters bigger than oneself. A lucky mitochondrian I am. Other organelles don't question my liver, or my lungs, maybe my skin, or my heart. And if you find these letters, remind yourself that even though if you were to turn around, you'd see all the other mitochondria riding in their own blood cells. And even though they'll look kind of alike and have basically the same chores, and even though we're riding in a sea of likeness, there is no loss of unity. You carry life. You have a job to do. Come meet me at our lymph nodes. We seem to have a situation. Bring up the oxygen. You'll pass so many bones. We have so many bones. I love these bones. I'm here, waiting, looking at this special bowl. I put my oxygen in there, and it fits just right. I know how this works, though it baffles me when I think about it. Hold true your oxygen and know you're just like me. You'll know how to put the oxygen in the bowl when you get here. I'm still learning, but my favorite lesson so far is the more oxygen I bring, the more there is when I return to the heart. The heart says, "You're back again, and so soon." Then it says, "Of course I remember you." And then, "Quick, take this. I don't know what to do with it." And then, "I love my lungs. I love my liver. I love my body." An ode to the bicycle. There was a day, a sunny day, when the clock told me a secret. Turning its wheels, it said, "You are that much more free now." It let me loosen and remove the chain wrapped around my hungry, anxious ankles. I took the chain and wrapped it around your ring, round the cassette upon your frame. Now we're betrothed. Our bed is the horizon. My dowry is the road. I kiss you with my feet. For you, my bicycle, now turn in the clock of a city, which turns in the clock of a nation, of a planet, of suns gearing in the clock of the Milky Way. There is always a bigger heart. You make mine stronger. You know me. Memorized my every incarnation, how I fell down on 33rd carrying a bag of groceries on your right hook, how I fell on clay with an old wooden flute in my pack, flipping over your handlebars, how I wiped out on 28th and made it through alive, how scared I still get climbing up Oak's Bottom at night, never stopping till I reach Milwaukee. I know there's nothing following me, no werewolves or swarms of nanobots, but you know how you need not understand. You believe me. Trust me when it's time to run and not look back, to flee before the silver, thirsty, raging stream of mercury. To you, my kaleidoscope dancer, 3 chakras below the root, disciple of lightning, +2 wisdom, +2 charisma, +40 base speed, +2 save versus fear. It's time to party, ride naked like dubstep and the smell of roses, tear shame off the asphalt, off the hill where we live, where I eat beef eggs, millet and green tea, tahini on bok choy, coriander on my eggs. We are the reunited molten core of Babel, whose only job is to wake up and keep pedaling. Let's keep ourselves brimming for the softness of ripe peaches, for the leaf on the wind, for the ghosts caught between the gears, gray, laid with garlands and gasoline. Ring the bell for dragonflies. Fuck it, be the dragonfly. Crest tidal waves of cortisol. Be a warrior of the gentle sea. Never move, but turn the world around you. Exalt the very brand of Ouroboros. Set the pace. Hit the road. Blow this joint for the park beneath the Markham Bridge. Later, I will carry you, still in my arms. We cross the threshold home. Give fate the ferry. I like to lick my plate, pick all the grains like souls all lost and needing saving. Here, inside my belly. Go, give fate the ferry. Face first and merry, slake thirst, savor same as saber-tooth, untamed and dirty-maned. Beware leftovers, here I raid you down beyond the morsel to the clay beneath. Who needs a damn dishwasher when there's me? So is it poor table manners or attentive gratitude for little things that gets me gobbling like an animal? My grandmother at ocean's farthest reach told me, "Kome ikko nokosazu zenbu o tabenasai." Please eat, not leaving but a single grain of rice. Her whispers told of paddy farmers' toil, those who picked piece by piece each precious grain and cleaned them, portioned, packed them, hauled, and drove with sweaty brows, big smiles, and bigger hearts. The world incorporated's come to steal. The gentle industry of hands is now all mechanized with volts and switches. Gone may be the days, but not the memory. She ran as fire rained around her, prayed inside her 6-year heart to not be prey to death and char. Oh, how her neck hairs know that doom she likes to whistle like a faceless cowboy, shotgun-shouldered, shameless, showering its payback payload, packed all full of fear. Yes, innocence so burns like sliding doors and wafts up smoke upon an engine's roar. We have a phrase, Oni ni kanabo, the ogre first and then his iron club. B-29s are terrifying, but the iron club was hunger, malnutrition. I like to think we were her hunger pains, that grueling urge to grit and persevere. Please keep a hold, Oba-chan, gambare, ikite kudasai. Please live and eat what all you can, not wasting but a single grain of rice. I swear that I'll believe you wrapped your centimeters there inside a wooden box, and to a turtle's trust bequeathed it to the bottom of the sea to be invested in an ancient shrine. Your height was safely hidden in the waves. Yet in the days your family took shape, the turtle then returned the tide to us. Now how we've grown above your humble crown. With curly salt and pepper hair, and keen old eyes, and all that smile, and she calls for dinner. Gohan desu yo. See what a triumph every meal is. Not like a buzzard with a muzzle feed. Not like a toll booth for a canteen bridge. I like to lick my plate and celebrate. Each bit of disco light inside my mouth. Each bowl a treasure trove of ancestry. Each bite defying death to say, I will. Where I walk. From across the bay, in the gas of that paper mill, I'm surrounded by trees. And let me tell you, this bright moss knows me, even on the days I doubt myself, even when it's raining. The rain talks to me. The rain whispers, like the forest spirit remembering their name, says mine, like they hold all the water, like all the water holds them, and I am a bowl. They watched me being made, watched how I took in water and released water, how I was always at dinner, at breakfast, holding their cereal and their summer squash soup. They remember my name enough to say, hey, I feel so much when I look at you. I want to hold you a while. This morning, the moss tells me to take the east path because it is morning, and the east side of the peninsula likes to shake itself like a wet dog back from somewhere. Where were you, champ? Walk the east path this time. Last time it was late, lit like a memory of days that aren't today. There are sticks on the ground and molted leaves by my feet. It'd be a mistake to think they're dead. There are sticks on the ground telling their story. They're quick storytellers. I picked up a fallen leaf and put it on my head. A part of me is always decomposing too. We are life comrades. We've shared bones, and our cells, our molecules, our atoms, our electrons know that sometimes there are 1,000 ways in the same direction, and sometimes it doesn't matter so long as we set out. So I wonder if confidence is the piece it takes to make a choice. There are sticks on the ground and leaves. I'm stepping on them, and when I really look, I see there is no doubt. Doors on a map. Gotta go, said my grandfather Michael, my no-no Mike. He spoke of some books that are mazes and some that are homes, or both, each tome another chamber in his labyrinth. Still questing, he lifted a title off the shelf, laid it open in his hands. Inside it were 3 cool beetles. They performed a play on the pages, the one where the old man shows his journeyman doors on a map he knows the kid won't open, even in a year, but he may, someday yet. And the beetle who got to play the table with the map transformed into a music box. In return, I painted the beetles with my poetry. No would be a writer too, if his hands didn't shake. So he's a reader, an adventurer instead. I showed him my notebook, the one that I wrote this poem in. I placed it in his hands, and though those hands quiver, they know what it means to turn a page, open a door, and breathe into a room. Tonight, as he boarded the blue line to Beaverton, I danced at him. He laughed in the light. When the doors closed, he turned to me and picked his nose in my general direction. Quiver. Quiver, for the moonlight in our palm lines, a library of star signs. A chamber full of salt remembers each kindness, while true faults make maps for lost pilots who forgot how to stop, not to hear and respond, but to listen and bond. That there's less at the top, but more in the silence. Take good note and file it, but more than just save it, to savor the feedback as lilacs to ley lines aligned by the facts hold back what reacts. When loss becomes labor, charm demons with violets to vapor. No matter what's happened, remember, there's still air here. No hope is vanity once put to action. Even if it's breathing, the physics remains the same in any language. Yume mi yumi ya, aijou yokeru na, kyou no kagami no game no gaman yori kuki no amasa ni awase, yabutte mo yoroshii, kimi ga jubun miro, yama no yoko ni aru 200個の雲紙、あの優しい嵐あるこの悲しみ洗うため。So let it. I'm talking in my sleep because my heart speaks Japanese. And I believe in you, like I believe in gravity, which means I don't understand, but I know you're there to watch my step, though I may still fall, but your soft eyes accelerate, no problem at all, and I wake right next to you with a quiver full of moonlight and my gratitude. Arigatai. Good morning. Postscript. The Fly. Times Electric Dandelion. This place. I've been here before, but not yet with you. This cave. Watching kids hopping over holes, tossing highlighter gum into the crevice of time's dredged minerals. Should all this come crumbling behind us and leave us interred under the tick-tock of this high-walled tube, would we find ghosts with wide grins? Would the shy giant down here finally feel safe enough to peek around the corner? We're counting down from 10 with the lights out, watching, in a drop of water, all the calcium all the days, all the taps of our feet, the walls rolling lithium into golden fields, sunshine bell kicks, flowers blooming from the ions in the periodic table, hankering for the comfort of our brief silhouettes holding hands. We can say we've kissed in total darkness, can say we blew to a stop the dandelion clock, can say this place has known a brief sight of liquid quartz, the sound of wanting, a light of deeper linings being carved where once lived only stone. Time and the breathing of the underworld has seen a tiny flying seed.